Okay, today we're going to put together the 4413 DirectAire inlet. I've laid all the parts out here. This is basically the bottom profile that has the hinge groove in it. We take this hinge and it slides into this groove. Like that. Then I take one of the end caps, lay it on a table like this, and then this is the top profile, which has the seal material along the top. It goes on the other end of the end cap. Seat them down tight, and I just take it and set it on the ground. Then we take the curved blade, and it has a groove in the bottom here. This groove goes on this hinge. Put it in, seat it in, everything should go down tight. Alright, now we take the other end cap, put it in place. Set it back up here on the bench. Okay, now once you get the inlet together, you tap it tight together. You use this smaller black nail, and there's smaller holes in here, and you just take and seat the nails in. Both ends. Take and flip it over, and we do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, now once we get the inlet all together, the pins are all in it, it's a good idea to take the blade and push it all the way down, work it a few times so we make sure that we get the hinge working freely. But now your inlet is all ready to go, ready to install into the hole. Okay, now that we have our inlet totally put together, we're going to go ahead and put it into the wall. We need a rough opening here of 44.5 by 13.5. So once you get your rough opening framed in, take your inlet, stick it into the hole, put it in there tight, and then the screw that we're going to fasten it with is it's a 2-inch wood screw with a rubber grommet here. They use them, a lot of them use them on steel buildings, but it kind of helps for sealing up and it gives it a little cushion. That side, we're going to do this side. Okay, now making sure that this bottom stays straight, perfectly straight. Put one right in the center of this profile. Okay, now on the top, we're going to take the top, we're going to push it up just a little bit. I would say so we get probably a 1/4 inch of rise there, but give that just a little bit of an upward motion. And take and move the blade to make sure it works properly. No constrictions. Shuts tight. Then we're going to take it and install this pulley. Basically put it right above the inlet. And line it up with the hole. There's a hole here in the blade. Line that hole up with where you mount the pulley. Take your string. Through the hole in the blade. through the pulley, and you should be ready to shut it. Make sure it works easily and shuts properly. Probably the last thing you're going to do is it comes with this shut off. And this basically gets mounted right above the inlet, making sure that the door works, doesn't restrict with the door. It's away from your pulley so it doesn't get in the way of the pulling. And just screw it in. Shut it, just turn it down. And that's it. You should be ready to install another one. Okay, this is the smaller version of the DirectAire. It's the 4408. And you're going to need a rough opening for that is 44.5 by 8 3/4 inches. So what you do is, again, you take the inlet, position it into the hole. Start by fastening the ends. Okay, now once you've got the end caps done, make sure that this stays perfectly flat across the bottom, and put one screw in the center here. You got to make sure you don't fasten it down too tight. We're using a 2-inch wood screw with a rubber gasket on it that we use. That works good so it doesn't crush the inlet when you screw it in. Okay, now when we go across the top, we take the top of this here and push it up approximately 1/4 inch. And fasten that top. That way it gives actually the inlet will hit on the outside corners first and then pull the center in. It just helps with sealing it up a little bit better. Okay, once we have the inlet installed into the hole, we take a little small pulley like this, fasten it into the wall just above the inlet so it's in line with this with the hole into the door. So it lines up with the pulley. Then you feed the rope through the hole in the door, through the pulley. Now the pulley will help pull it towards the center. And the last thing that we're going to install is the shut-off. This is the shut-off that will hold the doors shut if you don't want to use them. Basically, it goes just above the inlet. Just make sure it doesn't get in the way of your pulley assembly. And you just screw it into the wood. And that just holds your inlet shut. If you want it open, you just turn it up.